Hey guys, Short Stack Survival here. Today we're going to talk about how to clean your pistol, and specifically we're going to use the Glock 42 to demonstrate how to do that. Now this is a very quick way that I've developed over the years on how to clean my pistol. If you want a more in-depth kind of by the book way of cleaning your pistol, I just highly encourage you guys to check out your manufacturer's manual that came with your pistol. And that way you can get an idea of how to field strip it, how to clean it, where to oil it, and then finally how to reassemble it. Without further ado, let's jump down to the table and take a look at the Glock 42 and get her cleaned up. This will be a quick and dirty little video, and hopefully by the end we'll have a nice clean gun that's ready to rock. We're gonna drop the mag, set it aside, we're gonna rack the slide, and we're going to confirm that there's nothing in the chamber. So the chamber is empty. We can either let the slide down with the slide stop or slide release, or you can pull back on the slide like that and let it go. We are going to point this in a safe direction, pull the trigger. We're going to come up here, pull the takedown levers down, okay? So we're going to pull back, pull down, and then just let it go. And there we are. We're going to take the recoil spring out, and here we have the barrel. We've got the slide, the barrel, frame, and the recoil spring and guide rod. I'm going to grab a couple tools out of my little box here. I am a huge fan of bore snakes. If you've ever used a bore snake, you'll know that these are amazing. So what it is it's just a long piece of material, and it has this like soft brass that can get into the rifling of the barrel. And so what you do is you just put this in through. It usually go breech to muzzle, and I just kind of wrap it around and pull it through a couple times, and it does a really good job. So I usually do that dry at first, and then what I'll do is I'll kind of put some of this ultra bore cleaner a little bit on the inside, let it set, just putting some drops on here. Just try to get the nylon brush is what I use for this part, and just kind of wipe the excess away. It usually gets in there pretty good. Just kind of cleaning it up. It's not really scientific in my mind. You literally just kind of are wiping it. There's not much you can mess up when cleaning your firearm, except for if you get really crazy with your brush in this area, you know, you might get hooked up on some of the springs. So just be kind of gentle in this area. I already have a little lint there. Start putting some of this on, and I'm just going to kind of scrub. The smaller part's really good for getting into the little seam here. Now the biggest part here is where the breech face is. So you have your extractor in there, and that tends to get really dirty. So you really want to spend some time in there. And this is CLP, so it just kind of cleans, gets it oiled up. So it's kind of an all-in-one. It's not perfect, but I like it because it is quick. Now I know some of you guys are probably freaking out at home going, that's not the way to do it, or that's not how I do it. That's okay. There's so many different ways you could do this. So if you have some really stubborn carbon buildup, you can use like a soft metal brush and just kind of get the feed ramp. Now for this bad boy, wipe some of this down. This one for sure you want to use the nylon brush with. I usually keep it kind of level. Try not to leave any little fuzzies. So if you do want to get down in here, just again be really careful. Okay. So the recoil spring and guide rod is not something you want oiled necessarily. If it is dirty, you can take a clean, dry cloth and just wipe it down. Okay, so now the CLP's been sitting there for a little while. I'm gonna do my bore snake again. Now I'm just looking down the bore. It looks pretty clean. Wipe off the excess. This is what I was looking for. My little gun cleaning cloth. This does a good job of not leaving fibers back. This is a KLEENBORE silicone gun cloth. Okay, so that does a really good job of getting the extra oil off. And now I'm going to get this area one more time. The slide does tend to get pretty dirty, so I usually spend a little bit of time there. You can get these patches anywhere. A lot of times I end up using an old t-shirt, but I happened to find these when I was cleaning the other day, and I was like, ooh, I'll use these until I run out, and then I'll use an old shirt again. A lot of times the little nooks and crannies will still want to keep some of the dirt. If you can see dirt, just get it off. Okay, I'm pretty much almost done. I know that's pretty shocking, but that's how I do it. This Lyman mat's really nice because if you spill your oil on it, it's not a big deal. You take it out, hose it off. I'm just gonna use this to give it a one final wipe down. I see some little fuzzies. Now I'm gonna take this and wipe down the slide. I might give a couple more passes through my barrel here before we're all done. As many passes as you want, it's not gonna hurt anything. And now I usually take my precision applicator. I have a HOPPE'S one. This is Lucas oil. One little drop of oil. So basically just anything that's on the top, and then I just smooth it out with my finger. That's what I do for that. For the slide, little drop right there. Kind of even it out. And then in the rail, give a little bead here and drag it, little bead there, drag it. Anywhere you see that there's rubbing, like metal on metal, so I kind of hit that a little bit. Sometimes you'll have enough oil on your hand to just continue. And then on the barrel, put just a little bit here. You can see where it's been rubbing metal on metal. Usually put a little bit here and just kind of around. I'm not too worried about it. Okay, so then you reinsert it, and you can kind of see where there's metal on metal when you put it back in. You're like, oh, okay, maybe I should put some oil there. Then I'm gonna take my guide rod and put it back in. Make sure you get it down in that groove, it's critical. And then you take the slide and put it back on. And then what you do here is you pull the slide back. By pulling the slide back, it exposes the guide rod, and so you can kind of get down in there and clean it the best you can. Otherwise, you know, the springs are covering it, so yep. And then now that it's all done, I usually kind of wipe it down, and man, it looks brand new. And I usually kind of practice a little bit with it. It's empty, so just kind of pull the trigger. And then for mags, you don't want to oil them by any means. The follower is usually where it gets the dirtiest, so if you just wipe that down. I mean, if this isn't excessively oily, you could do it. I wouldn't recommend if this is like absolutely saturated, but I just use that. Yep, so that's how I do it. If you guys have a different idea of how to clean your gun, let me know in the comments below. If you guys are curious about any of the items that I use to clean my gun, including the MTM tactical range box, I'll include as many links as I can in the description below. If you guys enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you don't want to miss out on future videos.